So what does this mean for the future of President Xi and communism in China? General Jack Keane, Fox News strategic analyst and chairman of the Institute for the Study of War. General, nice to see you. Good morning. It's been fascinating to watch over the Thanksgiving break. Just give me your top line take on how you see this developing and where it goes possibly from here.
Well, it certainly is significant. I mean, local protests are not unusual in China because they deal with local issues. What's rare here is it's a mass protest, 10 cities or more, a dozen universities, and it's largely focused against the ruling Chinese Communist Party and its leader, President Xi. That is significant in of itself. And you're given the fact that since 1989, the Chinese Communist Party has really tightened its grip on all aspects of life in China. I mean, they've literally, Bill, wiped out civil society as we would know it. And they've got this high-tech surveillance that they've imposed on their people, facial recognition being the centerpiece. And Jillian's absolutely right. I mean, people on the street protesting here, knowing that system exists, this is an act of courage that we're seeing for certain. Yes, it has significance. It doesn't mean that President Xi is in trouble in the sense of his regime. It does mean the fact that President Xi worries about this. I mean, it is a fact that the Chinese Communist Party leaders under President Xi and his predecessors have always been more concerned about their domestic security than any adversary out there, to include the United States. They know full well, with a population the size that they have, 1,400,000,000 people, if that population rose up against them, they would have difficulty staying in power. So yes, it has significance in terms of what it could grow into. And would the descent move from just young people, college students, into a larger descent among the elites? Not that they would be in the streets, but they would be dissenting against President Xi's enforcement of the COVID-0 policy and the issue it's causing for its own people.
Yeah, very interesting. A couple of things I want to add there. Their vaccine is not as good as ours, clearly. There's no natural immunity because of the way they continue to cordon off people in these cities that are made up of 10, 15, 20 million people per. In addition, China is the only major country in the world still trying to stop the transmission of the virus. With that said, Gordon Chang has a forecast. He said this earlier today.
The problem for the Communist Party is that we have seen just mass discontent. And people are linking this to Xi Jinping's rule itself. This is against Xi Jinping and the Communist Party. And I think that what we're going to see eventually, let's say within a couple years, is that the party will fail, largely because the Chinese people don't want it there anymore.
No, General, I don't know if that last statement is even possible or if it's wishful thinking, that the Chinese people will not want the party. They will want it to fail within a matter of years. Your evaluation of that claim is what?
Well, two things. I mean, certainly, so the audience understands how draconian the lockdown is. We all went through a lockdown ourselves, but it's very different. They cannot go out on the street whatsoever. They are locked in. The apartment buildings are locked in. Some of the apartments or homes are locked in by Chinese police. They are digitally tracked on a regular basis. And there's mass testing involving millions and millions of people in these cities on a daily basis. So it is enforcement that we have never had a frame of reference for. As to the future of the regime, that remains to be seen. They have enormous control over this population, and to prevent it from ever getting to the point where there would be massive rise, and it has to be seen and played out in front of us. Certainly, the economy is centerpiece to Xi having control of that population. He is guaranteeing his people will have a satisfactory quality of life and something better for their children. The CCP is smart enough to understand that is the glue that will help sustain them. And if that starts to go south as it is, then there are troubled waters ahead for sure.
General, great to have you on and get your perspective. I think the next few days will tell us a lot. Certainly the next week will tell us a lot, and we'll follow it as it goes. General Jack Keane, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.